Hope everybody's doing well out there so far on this hump day, and it's looking like we do got some significant severe weather going on here today on hump day. We got an enhanced risk here from Louisiana on over into central and a little bit of eastern Alabama as well. Primary risks include some significant tornadoes, possibly EF2+, large to very large hail, and even some damaging wind gusts. Timing, we'll break down the timing on the models here in a little bit, but according to the Storm Prediction Center's wording, they're expecting the worst of it to begin in the morning time frame, with the main storms expected from afternoon into at least the early evening hours. And we can see the greatest tornado threat currently expected across central Mississippi and Alabama. A broader region of conditional strong EF2+ tornadoes will extend from northern Louisiana into Mississippi and Alabama, and even northwest Georgia as well. Isolated to scattered damaging winds are going to be also possible today, although the lesser threat of the three. And a conditional threat of very large 2+ inch in diameter hail extends from East Texas into northern Louisiana, southeast Arkansas, and even central Mississippi. So pretty much all hazards are possible today, so make sure you're on high alert for significant EF2+ tornadoes if you're within any of these shaded areas, even here in southern Tennessee, as well as significant tornadoes can still happen in the low risk zones. And of course, make sure you have things put up as well today if you're within any of these colored areas for hail, and even watch out for some power outages if you're in the wind threat today. And of course, safety actions, continue to monitor forecasts for the latest information and updates to the risk areas. Be prepared to take action if watches and warnings are issued for your area. And of course, this will probably be updated by the time I get this video done. It always is. Seems like while I'm editing the videos, they always upgrade or downgrade this. It's just the way it goes. But I did issue a infographic here of what to expect today. Large to very large hail possible, up to 1 to 3 inches in diameter. 60 to 80+ mile-an-hour wind gusts possible, including a few strong tornadoes, with the tornado outbreak probability at a 40% chance today. So pretty high chance of a tornado outbreak possible. But of course, that can and will change. I don't mean a tornado outbreak's going to happen. It just means there's a 40% chance of it occurring today. And as long as you're prepared and not scared, like Ryan Hall always says, you have nothing to worry about. Sure, you have all those alerts set on your phone. And when that tornado warning is issued for your location, regardless if it's a radar indicated tornado warning or a confirmed tornado, make sure you seek shelter accordingly. Basement, closet, and room away from windows, and you'll be just fine. You have nothing to worry about. So on to the weather models to break down the exact timing for your exact location of what to expect today. And then we'll break down tomorrow's marginal risk, as there is a low end chance for severe weather, but of course significant severe weather can still happen on low end days. And then we'll break down the forecast for the next couple of weeks leading into Mother's Day weekend and beyond, as we could be heading into a volatile weather pattern, which could lead to some more significant severe weather here in our future. So first, as a recap, here is who's under the gun for severe weather today. And of course, tomorrow, the threat shifts eastward down here into southern Alabama, on over here into the Carolinas, and this also includes Florida as well, as y'all have been in a significant drought. So far this year, y'all need at least 14+ inches of rain to at least bust the drought, and hurricane season's coming up. My gut is just telling me that y'all are going to be getting a hurricane this year. Hopefully it's a low-end hurricane, but I'm thinking y'all are probably going to get at least a hurricane this year to bust this drought, but of course that can well change. So just take that with what it is and take that with a grain of salt, of course. And my hurricane outlook will be up by May 30th, so stay tuned for that. So on to the timing of when y'all could expect the worst of the severe weather today. We're going to take a look at the HRRR model. This is the highest resolution short range model we can go with, and we will take a look at all of the parameters that play a role in our severe weather today, including temperatures and dew points, basically the instability and moisture we got to work with, as well as the significant tornado parameters, which shows us where the greatest favorability for tornadoes is going to be at. That don't mean a tornado is going to happen within the whole area. It just means that the ingredients are favorable for tornadic activity. So on to the timing here. We're going to take a look at the reflectivity here. Push this forward, we can see some storms starting to initiate during the late morning hours into the early afternoon hours. It really starts picking up as we head into the late afternoon into early evening before it starts turning into a line of storms. And this is when our damaging wind threat comes into play before it starts turning into a big old blob and starts becoming a big flash flooding threat once we head into the early morning hours of Thursday. And then it starts pushing eastward into Florida, southern Alabama, into the Carolinas on Thursday. So before we take a look at the wind gusts, take a look at the parameters here, starting off with the tornado parameters, and then we'll take a look at the temperature and dew points, basically our instability and moisture we got to work with. Now keep in mind again, significant tornado parameters shows us pretty much where the greatest favorability of tornadoes will be at. Don't mean a tornado is going to happen within this whole area. It means that the conditions are favorable for tornadic activity. Basically, it's like tornado fuel. It's all you got to think about when it comes to significant tornado parameters. But as we push this forward, the greatest chance of seeing a tornado, at least according to the HRRR, is from, let's say, 3 o'clock Central Time through, I would say, 6 to 7 o'clock Central Time before it starts winding down as we head into the overnight hours tonight, into the early morning hours on Thursday. And we can see as we rewind this, we got the tornado parameters maxed out here in southern Mississippi at roughly 7 o'clock Central Time. So again, 3 to, I would say, 6 to 7 o'clock Central Time is when I would expect the greatest chance of seeing a tornado today here in Mississippi and Alabama. And if I had to chase this system, I'd probably be in southern Mississippi into probably south central Alabama. That's where I would be at. And we can see what's playing a role in the tornado field being so significant is Cape. Cape shows us pretty much storm field we got to work with, pretty much all you got to think about when it comes to Cape anyway. Push this forward to, let's say, 6 o'clock Central Time. We can see Cape value is not really off the charts by no means, but still pretty significant. Anything over, I'd say, probably 2,000 to 3,000 is pretty significant. We can see we're getting roughly 3,000 joules per kilogram here, so pretty significant Cape values. And we take a look at the moisture before we get into the temperatures. We can see we're going to be in the mid 70s within the enhanced risk zone, so definitely got a lot of moisture to work with, as well as mid to upper 70-degree temperatures and even mid 80s down here in Louisiana. So we got a lot of instability and moisture to work with today within this enhanced risk zone. So again, 3 to 6 p.m. Central Time is when I would expect the tornado threat to occur at before it's turning into a big old squall line as we head into the overnight hours and early morning hours of Thursday. So here's how you can prepare for severe weather today. If you're within the enhanced risk zone, make sure you identify a sturdy basement or interior away from windows where you could take shelter during severe weather. Build an emergency kit, stock essentials like water, food, flashlights, batteries, and NOAA weather radio, first aid supplies, and medications for at least 3 days. Stay informed, monitor forecasts and alerts, have multiple ways to receive warnings, including a weather radio and smartphone alerts. And have a plan, make an emergency plan with your family, know your evacuation routes, meeting place, and how you will communicate. Prepare now, stay ahead, and stay safe today. You live within the enhanced risk zone, so basically make sure you have all those alerts set and seek shelter in your basement, closet, and room away from windows. If you do receive a tornado warning, even if it's a radar indicated tornado warning, make sure you seek shelter just in case. And of course, if there's a confirmed tornado, then obviously take shelter in the appropriate places. And if you're under a thunderstorm warning, make sure you're just inside away from windows. You'll be just fine. There's also going to be some flash flooding occurring today. So if you see a flooded roadway, turn around, don't drown. If you're in a flood prone area, then please be aware of this. Now it's also going to be some power outages today as well. If you live anywhere within this yellow shaded zone, I would probably expect some power outages today as that line starts rolling through during the overnight hours tonight into the early morning hours of Thursday. So let's go ahead and take a look at the wind gusts, as we could expect upwards of 60 to 80 mile an hour gusts. So back to the HRRR here. As we push it forward, we can see that the wind gusts are going to start to pick up as we head into overnight hours tonight. We can see close to 30 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, and some areas could see upwards of 80 mile an hour wind gusts tonight, as well as that line starts to roll through and bring that cold front with it. So definitely, again, prepare for power outages, prepare for large hail, and if that tornado warning gets issued for your location, seek shelter in basement, closet, and room away from windows. Just fine, nothing to worry about. And as Ryan Hall always says, don't be scared, but be prepared. Now, as a side note here, if there's days that I don't do a video, I will be posting on X and Facebook on the severe weather threats that are going to be occurring on that day. And even if there's a multi-day severe weather pattern occurring, then I will be posting about that as well. So you can see here that I posted the infographic and how you can prepare. So go follow me on X and even on Facebook. I'll have the links down below, and of course above are all my handles, so you can go follow me on there. I do post a whole bunch of interesting stuff, by the way, so go ahead and check those out if you haven't done so already. I greatly appreciate it. And we can see what I put here. Cape value is around 3,000 joules per kilogram today. Dew points in the mid 70s, like I said earlier. And of course, temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 70s as well. So gonna be a pretty significant day. The only inhibitor is gonna be cloud cover. If we have a lot of cloud cover, then of course it's gonna inhibit any sort of storm activity. So again, make sure you're prepared today and not scared, and you'll be just fine. So what about tomorrow? I'm not gonna cover the timing to save time here in this video, but expect low end threats for tornadoes and winds with no hail threats. So please be prepared tomorrow for some significant severe weather. Significant severe weather can still happen on low wind days, as there is a 2% chance for tornadoes tomorrow. It's a non-zero chance. So again, take shelter accordingly and you'll be just fine. So let's go ahead and get into the next couple of weeks, as it's looking like we could be heading into a volatile ride as far as the weather, as we could be heading back into another active weather pattern, as we have been really cold out here as of late. And as we pull up the National Weather Service alert map here, we can see there is some winter storm warnings and advisories here out in the Rockies. So that's a sight for sore eyes for y'all out there. Y'all probably thought winter was over, but Mother Nature had other plans, and we can see the wording up here: spring severe thunderstorms and excessive rainfall and even heavy snowfall is going to be occurring today here on Wednesday. So to take a look at what we could expect, zoom out here in the lower 48 and take a look at the long range GFS here. Keep in mind that anything over a week out is virtually impossible to forecast. Please take this with a grain of salt. But we can see today we got some significant snowfall occurring out here in the Rockies, significant severe weather here in the deep south. Keep in mind today within the enhanced risk zone, 3 to 6 p.m. Central Time is when I would expect the worst of it, with the wind threat occurring during the overnight hours. Once that moves through, looks like we're going to be heading into another quiet weather pattern. Could be dealing with some pesky rain showers here in the Mountain West and over here in the Great Lakes region, but overall much of the country looking to be pretty dry. Soggy as well down here by Texas, though. Head off into the weekend. Looks like Mother's Day weekend's gonna be pretty soggy for us here out east. So if you're taking your mom out on a dinner date or anything, or cooking out for her or whatever, looks like it's gonna be pretty soggy here out east and pretty soggy out here in the northern Rockies. Some snow could be possible up here in the UP of Michigan, so that's gonna be a sight for sore eyes up there for y'all. But really, it's looking to be a wash out here out east. Could be some severe weather potential down here in the deep south again on Sunday, as well as up here in Nebraska and Missouri. So definitely got to keep an eye on that, as there could be some significant flooding with it as well. Then once we move past Mother's Day weekend, it's just looking like we're just going to be heading into a very soggy pattern here out east. But it's looking like the western part of the country is going to start to dry out though and be pretty quiet out there. And then watch as we head into the middle of the month. We could be picking back up in activity again here in the central and south central part of the country, as we could be dealing with another multi-day severe weather pattern. Now, can will change. This is well over 200 some hours out, but I've been seeing that we could be dealing with another active weather pattern once more here in the south central part of the country, which this is peak severe weather season, by the way, so keep that in mind. And we can see as we push off further into the month, looks like that severe weather threat shifts further north into the northern plains, while the Rockies could be dealing with some more snowfall out there. And then we're just going to keep on keeping on, y'all, with the rain and snow. When we pull up the risk of heavy precipitation, there is no hazards. That's why I didn't show it at the beginning, but no hazards here at the middle of the month. But we are going to be pretty soggy here in the central and eastern part of the country, with an uptick in some severe weather here in the south central and northern plains as we head into the middle and potentially at the end of the month. So what does the Climate Prediction Center have to show us? Well, they're showing us exactly what I've been saying, which is that the eastern part of the country is going to be heading into a soggy pattern. This also includes southern Florida. You are coming in on an above average pattern. Southern Texas going to be coming in on well above average precipitation out there, but it's looking like the western part of the country, y'all are going to be heading into well below average territory out there. So it's like a quiet weather pattern is going to be in store out there for the next couple of weeks anyway. But what about here at the end of the month? Well, it's looking like more of the western part of the country is heading into an above average pattern. Really much of the country, to be honest with y'all, except for up here in the northwest and down here in Alaska. Don't cover y'all much, but heading into an above average pattern, as well as down here by Hawaii, as y'all did have a volcano that did erupt yesterday and brought some rainfall to y'all down there, mainly because of heat. So could use the rain down there as well. So what does the drought map have to show us? Well, much of the country is actually dry, except for the Great Lakes region down here into the parts of the Midwest, a little bit of the Northeast and Northern Plains. But the rest of the country is looking pretty dry, especially down here by Florida. Y'all are really dry down there. You can see some significant drought conditions down there. And that's why I'm thinking that y'all are probably going to get in on a hurricane hurricane this year to bust this drought, and that's really what would bust the drought is a hurricane, and hopefully it's not a significant one by no means, but I think y'all are going to be coming in on a hurricane this year as my bold prediction. So on to the national blended models here to show who will get in on the jackpot of rain and jackpot of snow. And we can see here, starting with the precipitation, the deep south will be getting in on the jackpot of rain. Southwest is going to be drying out. Florida, y'all are going to be coming in on some rainfall, but it's not going to be drought busting rain by no means. Zoom into the eastern part of the country, we can see that 2 to 4 inches with locally higher amounts possible. Some areas could come in on 5 to 6 inches of rainfall, especially here in Mississippi and Alabama. These areas are coming in on severe weather here today on hump day. Florida, y'all are coming in on close to a ½ inch of rain. By no means, that's not drought busting or anything, but y'all will take it, I'm sure. Any rain is needed down there. But out west, most of this will be snowfall, mainly up here in the upper elevations of the Colorado Rockies. But we can see not much rain occurring out there. But as we take a look at the snowfall, well, we can see the Rockies are coming in on some significant snowfall. It's mainly going to be occurring today. Good for the ski resorts, especially if any are open today. Get out there and enjoy those. And we'll zoom in here to show it more clearly. But we can see upper elevations coming in on a foot to 2. Lower elevations roughly, I would say probably 1 to 2 to 3 to 6 possible. So good for the ski resorts out there. I'm sure it's a sight for sore eyes if you hate snowfall, but if you love snowfall, then I guess soak it all in. Probably not going to last too long anyway. Zoom into the eastern part of the country real quick. We can see no snowfall out there unless you live up here in Vermont and New Hampshire, but not much to play around with up there. So looks like the snowy season's winding down, y'all. That's some good news. And zoom out in the lower 48 here, we can see not much snow on the map. So great news. Winter can just go away. So on to the temperatures, as that is the main risk for the next couple of weeks, as extreme heat is looking to return as we head into the middle of the month here in Texas and Oklahoma and even New Mexico. So prepare for some extreme heat, and this is also going to result in an active weather pattern coming up as well here in this region here. And we can see the areas coming in on extreme heat. Slight risks have been issued, as well as a moderate risk here in the middle of the month. And also up here in the northeast, y'all are coming in on below average, a slight risk for below average temperatures here during that same time frame. So that's why I'm saying we could be heading into an active weather pattern within this area right here. So definitely be prepared for that. So on to the temperatures here. And as we take a look at today, we can see that the reason why they issued that enhanced risk is mainly because got that warm air down here and that cold air from the north, and that's why they issued that enhanced risk down here. We have a collision of the seasons going on down here, which results in significant severe weather. And we can see there's also some warm air out east, and of course cold air here in the Ohio Valley. It's gonna last for the next couple of days anyways, but don't worry though, if you have plans this Mother's Day weekend, it's looking like Saturday is gonna be pretty nice for much of us, as it's gonna be nice and warm and also pretty quiet for much of us. Could be dealing with some soggy conditions for much of the Great Lakes and potentially up here in the northern Rockies, but overall looking to be pretty good out on Friday and even on Saturday and even on Sunday. But it's looking like Sunday there's going to be a cold front coming through and knocking those nice warm temperatures out again. We're going to be in this roller coaster ride of temperatures where we're basically in I don't know what to wear kind of season for a little bit here before we're going to finally stabilize. And this is when our nice hot air is going to be returning, is here at the middle and end of the month. And this is why I'm saying that we could be heading into an active weather pattern as we head into the middle and maybe even at the end of the month. And take a look at the temperature anomalies here. See, we are definitely going to be below average for this time of year for much of us. Has been very cold here to start off May, and hopefully y'all protected those plants. I wouldn't advise planting anything at least until after Mother's Day weekend, and maybe even until after the Indy 500, as we have been coming in on some snowfall before during the Indy 500, so definitely don't plant anything yet. I would advise probably getting a greenhouse. That would be very great to protect your plants. And we can see that out west, y'all are going to be above average, while the eastern part of the country is going to remain below average. But don't worry though, if you hate the cold air like I do, it's looking like that warm air is going to be starting to creep back in as we head into the middle and maybe even at the end of the month. So you just got to get past, I would say, Mother's Day weekend, and I think we're going to start to come back into some very, very nice temperatures. Now, of course, that's going to come with some problems, of course, as we could be heading back into another active weather pattern at Old Man Winter. Don't want to let go just yet. So, pretty much, next couple of weeks is going to be well below average here out east, but well above average out west. Florida, y'all gonna be above average. But as we head into the latter half of May, looking like that warm air is gonna creep back in again, which is gonna result in an active weather pattern and a volatile weather pattern at that. But it's looking like the Northeast, y'all are gonna be coming in on some below average temperatures though, so it could remain chilly up there here at the middle of the month, while it's looking like the rest of the country is gonna be coming back into that nice warm air and looking to remain warm as well. So referring back to my thumbnail here, but this is my thoughts on what we could expect for the next couple of weeks. Basically, we're going to be remaining cool for now here out east. Could be heading to an active weather pattern here in the middle of the month here in the central part of the country and even up here in the northern plains as well. And a major warm up is expected here out west here in the middle parts of the month. So basically a volatile weather pattern is in store here as we inch closer to the middle of the month, and Mother's Day weekend is looking to be pretty good out there for much of us. If you're celebrating Mother's Day with your moms out there, get out there and enjoy that. So if y'all stayed this far in the video, I'd like to thank y'all. And as a thank you, I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek at what I'll be taking a look at in my hurricane outlook, which is the sea surface temperatures. And I'll be taking a look at this all throughout hurricane season. Hard to believe we're almost into hurricane season, actually. I can't believe we're already into May. This year's already flying by, y'all. But we can see that the ocean temperatures are warming up out there in the Gulf and even out here in the main development region. Take a look at the temperature anomalies out there as of May 4th at 8 o'clock. See, they are starting to come into above average territory. So basically the ocean is starting to heat up out there for some hurricane activity as we inch closer to hurricane season. And just for kicks and giggles here, and this is something we'll be taking a look at as well, which is the simulated infrared. We're just going to take a look at this for kicks and giggles. Please don't take this seriously, by no means. We see as we push this forward, not much occurring out there really, so nothing to worry about out there anyway for the next couple of weeks, I would say. But we will be taking a look at this going forward, so keep this in mind. I will have my hurricane outlook up at the end of this month, probably May 30th, so stay tuned for that, as we are heading into an El Nino hurricane season, which means that we could be heading into a below average hurricane season. But of course, I did predict last year, as well as everybody else, that we were going to be coming in on an above average hurricane season last year, and of course it didn't turn out that way. And of course this year's going to be below average, so that could be just opposite. So definitely, again, take this with a grain of salt. Canyon will change, the weather's unpredictable, so take that for what that is. And one last thing before I let y'all go, we're going to take a look at the birdcast. You can see that there was 244 million birds projected to move through tonight. Tomorrow night, 357 million birds projected to move through. And the night of May 8th, 356 million expected to move through. And tonight, they better be aware that there's going to be some severe weather here in the deep south. So, going to be a whole bunch of birds moving through tonight, even more tomorrow night, and even more on the night of May 8th. And take a look at the bird migration last night. We can see that we're getting close to 200 million to 300 million birds moving through last night. So the birds are moving through, y'all. And I did create a funny animation on the birds being tracked. You can see that the birds are skeptical on being tracked as they think their rights are being infringed on. So I'll go ahead and play it here.
They're watching again? This ain't right. Yeah, our rights are being infringed on the 1776 commence. The birds are attacking the radar. Victory! No more spying!
We can see that the birds attacked the radar and no more spying, so the birds declared victory over the government spying on them. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that, and hopefully y'all enjoyed this forecast video. If you did, please make sure you hit that like and share button so more folks are informed about the weather. Also, leave me some feedback in the comment section down below, as any feedback helps provide you, the viewer, better and more informative content in the future. And also, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, as here always we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. And I also have a Rumble channel if you want to go check that out too. It's WilliamsWX98. Greatly appreciate if you go check that out as well. So basically, we're going to be heading into a volatile weather pattern as we head into the middle and especially end of the month, as we're going to be heading out of the cold air and into some very, very hot air, especially in the central part of the country. So prepare for that and prepare for frost out east, as we're not out of the woods just yet. Wouldn't play anything until after Mother's Day, and especially probably after the Indy 500. So again, if you're under the enhanced risk here on Wednesday, prepare for some significant severe weather from 3 to 6 p.m. tonight Central Time. As long as you seek shelter accordingly and keep all those alerts set, and you'll be just fine. You have nothing to worry about. I would expect overnight tonight to be a damaging wind event with the greatest chance of seeing a tornado from 3 to 6 p.m. tonight Central Time again. So again, don't be scared, but be prepared, as Ryan Hall always says, and you'll be just fine. Nothing to worry about. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all of y'all for watching. Enjoy your Mother's Day, as Mother's Day weekend is looking to be pretty good for y'all out there. So again, enjoy your day, and until next time, never stop forecasting.